Okay, for today's project, I have this EMD SD40 by Kato. We're going to install a Digitrax decoder in it. It's a DN163K1A. These decoders are actually pretty easy to install, but so we'll just go over this and see how it goes. Pop the locomotive out. And actually, Kato makes some really fine locomotives. I've always enjoyed them. This is an older one, easy to find. It varies. If you're lucky, you can get them on eBay anywhere from 40 to 60 bucks. I think I paid like 50 bucks for this. Neat thing about them is there's lots of them. What I usually do is I take the body off these, and then I'm replacing with some of the older Kato bodies that fit over these. One of the first things that you can always do, and this is even when you go to train shows and stuff, your typical 9-volt battery, and make sure it works. You can just put a 9-volt battery on it and it runs. Flip it around, make sure it goes the other way. You can put on your layout and do it. Another neat thing, when you're working on your layout, you can take a little 9-volt battery and do testing on your track. My layout is not DC at all, it's all DCC. So if I have track work laid out, I can actually put the battery on the track and technically run my little train. 9 volts. And I'm pretty sure you could probably make something to work with the HO scale. But 9 volts for N scale works just fine. In fact, if I actually connect the track in place on my layout, I can run, if I have a train that's set to DC, it'll run that train from across the layout. It's pretty amazing. But that's a neat little tip. If you carry a 9-volt battery, if you get N scale, test your stuff out at train shows and everything before you buy it. Another thing that I've showed several times is how to pop the shell off. You just set it in the box, pick it up, give it a quick whack. This table gives a little bit so it doesn't pop out as quick. Just pop your shell out. There you go. Since we have the shell off, we can also check with the battery too. When I'm working on it, you can also put the battery right on top of the locomotive itself. Run it, verify we're working. We know that's a good model. So, first thing I normally do is we'll pop off the little sunshade. We don't need that in the way. Slide that out. And these type of decoders, it's just a clip-in, so it just pops out, slides up, and there it is. And the same as before, you can actually play with the lights with the 9-volt on it if you feel like it. There you go. And the other one. Really shows how simple of a setup this is. Oops, there we go. Just simple. Flip it around. I mean, really the 9-volt battery is the same thing as your little DC power pad. And you can see on the decoder itself, you actually have the main controller chip, some LEDs and everything. These decoders are really easy to install. Just make sure that you don't get caught behind this tab right here. Just slide that tab back out of the way. Set it in place. Make sure the front of the decoder slides underneath the pads here. Push it down and just push it into place. That's it. Our decoder is now installed into the locomotive. Easy to check. Just our sanity check. You just little battery right there. And we are operating. Most decoders, as you'll find out, most decoders are set to dual mode, is what they call it. So they'll run in both DC and DCC when you first install them. most people like me, when I put them on the layout, actually disable the DCC mode on them. It causes some problems, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. But that was it. A simple install. Shouldn't take you any time to do this. We'll look at a couple more things. Get my shell. Put my little sunshade back in. I want to say it's a sunshade. It's actually a light block. Not necessarily sunshade, but reinstall that. Put the shell back on. Quick as can be. You can do this at home. You can check this again. This model is now DCC. Most Kato models come in two varieties. You've got the typical, original, the blue box models. Most of them are the 17.6. The numbers are a little bit different. Then you got the newer models that they have by Kato. And the green box models are the DCC capable ones. So when you're looking at a unit, the DCC units, you can see they have the longer board on the top, like such. Easily replaceable with a decoder on it, from non-decoder to decoder. The older Kato units have this ridge on the top, a strange embedded set up here with these little tabs that pull out. Pop that straight out so you can see. Right there. Not as easy to convert. There is a manufacturer that makes decoders for these, but I believe you have to do a little bit of grinding on the top to install it. But in my case, because Kato took a little bit of time to be backwards compatible, I'll just buy the newer units and swap out the shells to the older units and call it good. But you can do the same thing. You can always test them, just like at the shows. See if it's good. Pretty much the same thing, identical shells. It's just decoder, decoder, non-decoder. Well, there you go. That's how you can tell the difference between a DC and a DCC unit when you have the shells off. Like I said, Kato sells them both in the newer models, the green boxes, even though they all start with the 176 prefix. The green boxes are DCC capable, easy decoder installs. The blue boxes are not, require a little bit more work. And most of blue box stuff usually is like a letter with a 20K or some letter on it. The green boxes are 2000 numbers. Hope this helps you out in your layouts, converting stuff to DCC. Thanks for watching.